Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500, welcome back to Project F-Abarth. We're on the home straight now, not got much left to do. Let's get on with it and get it finished. So I've got the bumper off again, and I was gonna, or what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick these on properly. I'm gonna use Tiger Seal for this. I'm gonna put Tiger Seal around the back on these little tabs. This one is fitting quite tight, because what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put a bit of Tiger Seal in here as well. Be very careful, because I want to get it on the paint bit. So I'm going to put it on here and on here around the hole, and then once that's on, I'll turn it over and put it on the other side. On this one, I'm not going to bother too much about putting it on the front, because it is quite tight and I can't even prise that off without getting something underneath it. So I'm just going to seal it on the back, so that'll be fine. The badge is on. So right, let's not mix up some Tiger Seal. I'm going to put this filthy stuff, so I'm going to get some gloves on and just dab a few bits. I've got a tube of Tiger Seal which is all bunged up at the end, but I make holes in it with a screwdriver and I can get some out. So I'm going to do it very carefully. Right, so I've got, I don't know if you can see it. So I've put some on this edge, some on this edge, some in the middle, and I don't think that middle bit even touches this, I'm not sure. And then I've put some just on the ends of there, and then when I push it through, it will help to push it around where it should go. And then once it's in, I'll let that go off for a little while. And then we'll put some around the other side as well. So I'm going to leave that like that for the time being. Yeah, I'm going to leave that like that for the time being, just to dry off a bit. Then I'll turn it over and just put blobs on the other side, and obviously put a blob on the other side of that one as well. And then that'll be all the trim on that then. Right, I made an executive decision. Now let me talk about the aircon condenser. A lot of you have said, like I did, it works. What's the point in changing it? What's the point in the expense of buying a condenser, having it degassed, and then paying to have it regassed? What's the point? That was my thought right at the very beginning. Now, some of you have been supportive of that decision. One or two of you have just been downright nasty, trolling basically. One in particular, whose name escapes me now. I've muted him from the channel. He has made 3 comments over the last few months, and all of them have been quite nasty comments. And to be perfectly honest, yeah, if you don't agree with something I've done, of course, I'll always take it on the chin. I'm always open to constructive criticism. But when I'm not even going to repeat some of the things that he said, but he was just downright nasty. I wanted to subscribe to his channel and make similar comments, but unfortunately he's one of these people that loves to make nasty comments on other people's channels, but doesn't have any content of his own. So I've just muted him, so he can still see the channel, he can still watch the videos, but he can't comment. If he does comment, nobody sees it except for him. So if you're watching this, you know who you are. And I can't remember your name, but I'm not even going to bother naming you anyway. It's just not worth my time. You're always going to get the odd troll on these channels, and to be perfectly honest, since this has been going, 99% of you have made really positive comments. If you've not agreed with something I've done, you've told me, but in a nice way. There's no need to be nasty. It's just life's too short to be nasty. And these sad little people that feel that they have to troll like that, well, they're just not worth my time, so I won't even talk about them anymore. However, one or two of you who, you know, there's people on here that have, I can't remember your YouTube usernames, but there's one or two of you that have made lots of positive comments in the past, and on this particular issue you don't agree with me, which is fair enough. I do always read comments. When you see that I've liked and thumbs up your comment, you know I've read it. If I don't agree with your comment, like the nasty comments, I don't thumbs up or anything, so we won't worry about those. But that's the way I look at it. So I do, as I say, I do take on board what people say, and a few of you have not agreed with the fact that I'm leaving this on. So, as you know, I was taking this off today to look to see why this fan is rubbing. So I've dropped it, I've taken that off, moved it out of the way. I can't get the camera behind there, unfortunately, but if I look down, if I pull that out and look down, you can see where that impact was, there. It's pushed it back, so that's pushing against the fan. Now, with all the best will in the world, I've tried to straighten this, because it's perfect, again, like a bit like that. It's not even damaged, is it really? I mean, it's just pushed it in and bent it, but it's perfectly holding water, it works perfectly well. However, it ain't going to straighten. With all the best will in the world, it ain't going to straighten, and I bought one, so I'm going to change it. I didn't want to do it because it does seem completely and utterly unnecessary, but it's going to future-proof this car, and it's going to make it like it should be. A nice new radiator. It's had a front impact at the end of the day, so I'm going to drain it down in a second, and I'm going to put that on. I'm going to take this off, put a new one on. I've got a resistor for the fan, which I will put on. This is a new fan as well. It's not the one that was on there that had a broken bit on it. This is a new one. I say new, it came out of another car. Condenser. If the helicopter finishes flying over, I shall finish talking. Who's that? Oh, it's a police helicopter. Where was I? Yeah, so I've called a mobile AC man who's going to discharge this for me for 20 quid for cash, which I've got no idea how much it normally costs, but it's it's the bloke that I know that regasses as well. So he charges me £30 for a regas, and he said he'll charge me 20 quid to degas it. Obviously he's not going to do both of them at the same time. He'll degas it. If I took it to the garage to have it done, which would have been better, or a garage, obviously not Mr. Clutch, they could have degassed it, put the new one on and regassed it, but I don't want them to put the new one on because I want to do that. There's no point me paying for that. So, and obviously I'd need to get it there and then take the bumper off, blah blah blah. There's no point in doing that. So he's coming down, I can't think what the time is now, he's coming down at midday to degas this. So in the meantime I've got to get this off, get that put back on. When he gets here he'll degas it, he'll go, and then I'll put the new one on, and then obviously it can all go put back together when I'm driving it. When it's all finished I can take it to his house and he'll regas it for me for 30 quid. So for all of those of you that berated me or just didn't agree with what I was doing with this, please rest assured it's going to be done, and it's going to be done properly. I have a reputation at the end of the day. I sell my cars on reputation. Most of my cars get sold to either young mums. When I say young mums, I mean mums with young kids. You know, you normally is a second car, or more frequently young girls, i.e. 17 upwards, ones who are just learning to drive or passing their test. So the cars need to be as good and as safe as possible, and I do sell these cars on the local Facebook group. I've never had any problems. No one's ever come back to me and said you sold me a dud, because I don't sell duds. I should touch some wood saying that, shouldn't I? There's a bit of wood over here, hang on. Touch wood. So yeah, I'm not going to make much money out of this car now, as I thought I would, but I am going to put the price up a bit, and of course I am going to make money out of the parts when I eventually sell them. So I am going to set you up on time lapse while I drain down this radiator, get a new one out, which is already in a box in the back. We'll get it installed, get it filled up, and in the meantime we'll wait for the fella to come and degas this. and then we'll get the new one on. So I'll set you up on time lapse. Let's get on with it. So here's the new radiator. I'll tell you the one thing I like about the new radiators. If you look at the old, let's show you the old one first actually. So we saw that damage there. If I show you how bent it is, look. But if that's obviously where the fan was rubbing it, you can't, I don't know if you can really see how bent it is there, but it is quite bent. So the fan was only rubbing on it, and it does hold water, so it is a damn shame to have to get rid of that. But if you look at it there, I don't know if you can see the bend in it there. So it's just not worth it. So when you change radiators, what you have to do, make sure you take those out and put them in the new one, because they don't come on the new one. Neither does that either, and they're a bugger to get off, those things. So they go in there. That's obviously where the little locating pegs go in. So you also don't get a cap, so save your old cap as well. Now with these things, you have to take out this circlip, and then it's a matter of wiggling it big time. What I've done in the past, when I've scrapped these things, I've got a saw and I've cut that, and then I put it in a vise and done it. It's a lot easier, but they are a bugger to get off. Sometimes when you put them on, you think they're on, but they don't go on properly, and a little tap, couple of little taps with a hammer, and they go light taps, and they go and sit in the right position, because if you don't sit in the right position, they leak. It's a silly design really, I don't know why they do that. And then of course you've got I've got to take these off as well, which are on these rubber mounts. Got just basically brute strength pulling those off to get them off and put them on the new one. What was I saying about what I like about the new radiator? This isn't obviously not an original radiator, but what I like about them is look at the colour of that to the colour of that. You can see that, you can actually see the fluid in that one. With these, it's a job to see it, as I'm sure you know. It's a lot more translucent. So I'm going to set you up on a tripod. We're going to get all these bits and pieces off of this one and get them onto that one. There's one other thing on these radiators as well. There's a little pack that comes in the bottom of the box. Yeah, I don't know why they do it like this. Let me show you on this radiator. So on these radiators, and where are we? It's this side. You've got that, which I thought was a drain, but that nothing comes out of that. So I don't really understand what the purpose of that is. But on these radiators, it's there, but it actually is a drain. So they give you that to put around it. So I don't really understand that. I never quite understood why these have actually got a drain, which is actually quite useful, especially if you overfill it or something. You can drain it down a bit. I don't know. So yeah, you have to put these on with a little thing, and I have in the past lost these, so I've bought some spares, but you do get them with the radiator. But yeah, it's always been a mystery to me as to why that's the case. Anyway, let's set you up on a tripod, and we'll get these bits fitted, get the fan on the front of it, on the back of it rather, and then get it all put back into the car. Right, everything's on here now. The last thing I've bought is I bought this, not thermostat, what do you call it, resistor. It was completely destroyed. So that just connects, if you've got a pop without air conditioning, it only has a single speed fan, but this will determine which speed your fan goes at. And this isn't a genuine one. I can't get the damn thing in. Oh, how stupid. It's too. I think I might have to take that off and put it in from the other side, which is a bit daft because you can't get it underneath there and in at the same time. There's no way of getting it in. Oh, how stupid is that? Oh, well, look, it's only a fraction. I can't believe that. How ridiculous. Again, not a genuine one, but why is it a fraction out? Very frustrating. But I've got to feed the thing in from the other side. Golden Bennett. I mean, I could have filed a little bit off, but by the time I've done that, I might as well just take this out. How stupid is that though? Is that going to work going in from the other side? Not sure it is actually. No, it's not going to work doing it that way. No. Ah, damn it. I'll have to file a little bit off. So let's put that back. That is so stupid. So stupid. It is such a fraction out, but enough for it not to go in. Ridiculous. Now I've cut my hand again. Man, it's a good job I'm not a haemophiliac. The amount of times I've cut my hand. Well, it's not even in now. That's better. Right, lost that out the top. Okay, let's have another try. Got blood running down my fingers now. Let's have another try, see if I can get that in. It's such a minute amount. Let's get a knife and cut it with. See if I can slice a little bit off without slicing my hand off. Right, that should be enough, hopefully. There you go. Right, now I've got to find a screw, because I can't find the screw for this, so let me have a look in the garage and see. I know it's an 8mm screw. I'll see if I can find one on an old one. I got one. Luckily I had one on that front panel I bought that's got the radiator, condenser and crash bars on. It's luckily it's got one on that. Try and get the damn thing to line up now. That might be challenging. Get in there. Life. Yeah, hole's not in the right place either now. That's all right, I'm sure it'll go. Okay, so 2 electrical connections. When you've got a lounge or a car with aircon, you've got the 2 electrical connections. You've got the electrical connection, the main electrical connection for the fan, and then you've got the other for the resistor. So the resistor tells the fan which speed to run at. So if the engine's really hot, it runs at the higher speed and so on. But if you've got a pop, you've got a different fan which is only single speed. I say if you've got a pop, if you've got a car without aircon, I should say. Right, I think that is all back together now, so I just need to put a plaster on my cut, and then we can offer this back up to the car and get it back in. I've got to hurry up because the fellow will be coming soon to degas the aircon, so I need to get it on and quickly. So I'll just put you on pause while I go and clean my blood up, and then we'll be back. that was a bit of a palaver. I didn't have any Jubilee clips that were the right size. I was trying to reuse some of the old ones, but they're just not very good once you've prized them off. Just got to get this bracket on, and then we're done. And which is good timing, because I've just had a text from the aircon fella. He's on his way, so he should be in about 10 minutes. So that's good. So by the time I've got all this up, filled up, he should be here. Am I using the wrong nut on here? Yes, I am. There we go. Perfect. Nice new radiator. I'm glad I did that. So okay, so I've asked him, the aircon guy, and he doesn't want to be filmed because he does this on the back of his job, which is doing the same thing. So he does this as like a private, so he doesn't want to be on film. So as soon as he's been, we'll get the new one out and get it put on. So see you in a bit. I just realised I wasn't recording. I thought I was recording. I've just put the new condenser on, and I've come back to the camera and saw it wasn't on. So I didn't record me putting it on, and all that waffling I've been doing about me doing the right thing and changing this condenser was wasted really. So as you can see, condenser's on. It's all done up tight, all nice and straight, all brand new. The fan goes round nice and freely. All I've got to do now is fill it up with coolant, and then we can get the front bumper on. Oh no, I've got to do that. Still got to do that bracket down there. But once that's done, we can get the front bumper on, and then the front bumper will be staying on, and we'll be almost done then. Literally almost finished. So yeah, let's get the coolant in, and then we'll run it up to temperature, and we'll be back. That's more or less run up to temperature now. Just put the cap back on. I think all the air's come out of it now. I've got the heater on in there, going full blast. Oh, get on. That's it. Right. I think we'll let's just switch it off for now. Let's just put the aircon on. I'm just putting the aircon, although there's no gas in the aircon, I'm just putting the aircon on. I heard the condenser, the compressor come on. Just wondering whether the fan will kick in. Which it's not. Maybe it doesn't need to just yet, or maybe it's because there's no gas in it, I don't know. But you can hear the compressor coming in, so not too worried about that. Right, I've undone the new bonnet, the red wing, but unfortunately, although it has got a bracket on it, it's broken. At the tip where they always break, so there's no point putting it on. I'll have to get a new one, which is a nuisance. There's one thing I wanted to check. One previous MOT, it said that the horn didn't work. I'm sure it does, but I just want to make sure. Actually, you know what I've just gone and done? I'm just going to push the airbag one side on, which I didn't want to do. But I'm going to change the steering wheel anyway, aren't I? So I won't worry about that at the moment, but I'm sure it does work. Oh look, there's my plaster. I wonder where my plaster had gone when it came off. Never mind. Okay, so I'm just going to put the bumper back on loosely, because I can't finish it off at the front because of that bracket, which is really a nuisance. Oh, I haven't got the bars back on, have I? I need to put my bars back on first. Yeah, top and bottom bars. That would have been good, wouldn't it? No supporting bars. I also need to get up in the loft and get out one of the what do you call it, the polystyrene thing as well. I've got loads of those up in the loft, but because there's not one on it for some reason. Right, so I'm not going to bother filming doing that. I'm going to do that, get up in the loft, get polystyrene, and then I'm just going to put the bumper on. We'll be back shortly. Right, we are in the car again, and I'm going to get this khaki steering wheel off. When I was testing the horn in the last video, I accidentally pushed that back, so I had to take the bottom cowling off, obviously, to get this off anyway. But one thing I showed in the previous video, which I'm not sure whether I showed in the original video of how to get a steering wheel off, is I actually took the top cowling off. You don't actually need to do that, because the only reason you take the bottom cowling off is to get to the holes underneath, to remove the airbag. Why I took the top cowling off, I don't know. I think it's just because I'm used to doing it when I take dashes out and stuff. But yeah, you don't need to take that top cowling off. Anyway, disconnect the battery yet again, and then we'll get this off and get it swapped over from the one in Loopy Harold. No video would be complete without a view of Loopy Harold. It will have to go at some point. I've already taken a back light off of it for this car. Oh, that reminds me, there's no indicator bulb in the one that I put on it. And now I'm taking the steering wheel off, but I can't sell a car with that. And at the moment, I don't want to be doing that sewing up stuff. I will, as I said before, I will do it at some point, but not at the moment. So let's go and get this off, and then we'll go and see Loopy Harold again. There we are in Loopy Harold, a very hot Loopy Harold. I've got to shut the door. This car's coming. I'm parked out on the road still. Just let these cars go past, and I can open the door up again. I'm roasting in it. Oh, 3 cars coming past. Must be school time. So I'm just going to take the airbag off. Sorry, I've taken the airbag off. Take the steering wheel off, and then swap them over with this ropey one. And then we'll go once we've got this all back together in this very hot car. We'll go back to the blue one, the F-Abarth, and swap them over. So not all has gone according to plan. So I took the steering wheel off, airbag and steering wheel off of Loopy Harold, as you saw. I put the bottom cowling back on. You notice the top cowling's off here. Forget about that for a second. So I put the bottom cowling back on nicely, put the steering wheel on, put the airbag on, done. Then I looked down and realised I hadn't done the steering wheel up. So I'd take it all off again, do it again. Came back to this car, took the bottom cowling off. Well, no, I'd already done that, hadn't I? Put the steering wheel on, put it all back together, blah blah blah, pushed the airbag home, looked down, a bloody bolt there again. So took it all off, did the steering wheel up, and put it all back. Great. Then I thought to myself, oh, I need to test that horn, because it did come up in the MOT. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before that it didn't work. Now they must have got it working for the MOT, however it's not working. Now the only thing I can think of is look at the state of this. I mean, within that I believe is the horn wire. I believe it must be more than just the horn wire, because there's lots of wires in there. Sorry, not that, it's the bit on the steering wheel. It's that's the horn wire. So once that goes in to that, it plugs into that, which is all part and parcel of steering controls and what have you, I guess. Now looking at the state of that ribbon cable, I'm hoping, because that should all be pushed into there. I've got this spare one, as you can see, it's all pushed into there. I thought this was off a pop, but it is a twin airbag, so I don't think it's going to be any different, so it should work. So I'm fingers crossed. I did try another horn. You know what I didn't try? I haven't looked at the fuse. But because I'd seen this, I thought to myself, it's got to be this. So I'm changing this first. Then I will look at the fuse. I say I've got another horn out. I've got spare ones, So I've tried one of the others and same effect, no effect. So yeah, I'm going to get this off, and then we'll try it again. But hopefully, fingers crossed, it works. So I've discovered it's not going to work. It was a pop one. What I didn't notice is the lounge one, which I'm assuming is the steering controls, have a switch like that, and the one on the pop has a little narrow one like that, which, because that's no steering controls, so that would just be, all that would be the horn. So I guess that, I wonder if it'll work if I just plug that in directly. At least I'd be able to try it, wouldn't I? It might be worth a try actually, because that one is the same as that one. So on the pop version that hasn't got the steering controls, that plugs directly into there. Whereas on the lounge version with the steering controls, it plugs into there, and then you've got another one that comes off which plugs into there. So they are the same. So in theory, that plugged into there should work. I might try that. Only temporary, because obviously then we have no steering controls. So, and I'll have to get another one of these. Annoying. Let's try that anyway and see what happens. Right, I plugged it in and just left it hanging there. So we'll sorry, I could just hear noise outside. I was wondering what was going on. Yeah, so that will probably work, but then the steering wheel controls work. I say it'll probably work. That's assuming that it is that is the problem. Let's reconnect the battery. Let's see what happens. Fingers crossed. Let's hope it doesn't start going off. Well, it hasn't started going off, which is a good sign. Oh, blimey, that's tight. Right. I mean, there is a possibility it's the fuse, of course. It could be something silly like that. Let's try it. Yeah, it works. Right, that's what it is then. So all I need to do is get a new clock spring, which is a nuisance, but shouldn't cost too much. 20 quid at the most, I should think. I haven't got a polystyrene thing that I can find. I could have sworn I did have. That water you can see is just where it's water coming out of the exhaust, just some condensation that's built up. It's not, I have checked, it's not coming out of the, it's not coolant. Yeah, there's not much else I can do now. I'll put the bumper back on. At least I know that this end's okay, so I can put the bumper back on. I've ordered a couple of those, the brackets for there, so hopefully they'll come by the weekend and I can get this front on once and for all. So yeah, that's that bit done, and we'll get on eBay now and get that ordered. Right, it's time that we get this thing clean again. So apart from the bonnet, apart from doing that, getting a bracket on there, adjusting this wing forward slightly, sticking that on and sorting out that clock spring, we're done. The seats don't need a clean. I've cleaned the armrest as you saw last time. Yeah, we're pretty much there. Still haven't got the logbook through yet, but hopefully that will come within the next week or so, and then we can get it sold. And so we've already got a buyer for it. Just need to obviously the aircon's got to be regassed, but once everything else is done and that front's on permanently, then we can take it out. It's all insured and taxed and what have you. Of course the tax will cancel out once the logbook's issued, but we can just re-tax it, not a problem. So yeah, let's give it a wash, try and get some of this sap off. I'm going to give it a good soaking with snow foam and see if that'll do it. If that don't do it, we'll have to attack it with something else. But yeah, let's stick it on time lapse and let's get it clean. Nice bit of snow foam. I love a bit of snow foam. I'm hoping it's going to get all this stuff off, the sap. If it doesn't, we'll have to get a plan B. I don't really want to have to go over it with, I don't know. Someone did tell me about 50-50 white wine, vinegar and water, but I don't really want to go down that avenue, but we'll see how it's looking at the moment. Actually no, it's come off. Yeah, good old snow foam. It's disintegrated all that sap. I need to cut some of those branches off that tree really, but yeah, seems to have done the job. So I'm going to let it soak for another few minutes, and then we'll go over it with a sponge, and then we'll rinse it all off. Nice and clean. So I'm just going to leather it off, and then I'll park it back in the front of the house, and that'll be it for the day. So yeah, we just need to, obviously I'm going to machine polish, because we can see the difference in that colour of that bonnet and the bumper. So I'm going to machine polish it and see if I can bring it back up at all to be the same. Otherwise it's just going to have to look different. Yeah, but I just want to get it all done now. We're so close, but there's just a couple of little bits that are holding me up. One, the logbook, so I can sell it. Two, I need to order a what? Huh? Why? No, I'm not talking to my microphone. Go back to work. Wait, I've forgotten where I was now. Yeah, new clock spring I've got to order. The brackets for the bumper. Get the aircon filled. That's it. I think that's it. And then take it for a good drive and make sure it's all okay, and hopefully that exhaust will be okay with those hangers. If not, I'll, as I said earlier, I'll take it to the not Mr. Clutch, they're gone. Take it to Quick Fit and see if they can put some proper hangers on that are not going to allow for too much movement. But that's it for the time being. We'll be back probably at the weekend when we get all the other bits that we're waiting for, and then we can get it finished.